The lighting is great. It is tasty. It is scrumptious. The issue with this photo is the man in the background. I did not see that when we looked at this photo. We looked at this photo, we're like, man, that's a good shot. And then I get home and I see this guy staring at us in the background. We can fix that, and I'm actually gonna show you how I go about fixing something like that. Man, I really do like gym photography. So in gym photography, you can get a lot of various types of photos. Gym photos, lifestyle photography, movement in those shots. You can get a lot of stuff from gym photography, and it's fun to edit. It's so fun to edit. I might actually take this to the gym when I go work out and just be a menace, walking around doing snatches and clean and jerks. Oh yeah, that was 275 up above my head. That would also be a problem, a potential mess. I would for sure spill it. All right, so editing photos. Today I'm going to show you how I took an image looking like this and made it look like this. Now, the issue with this photo is not the lighting. The lighting is great. It is tasty. It is scrumptious. The issue with this photo is the man in the background. I did not see that when we looked at this photo. We looked at this photo, we're like, man, that's a good shot. And then I get home and I see this guy staring at us in the background. With him being out of focus too, it can be an issue for some people. There's not too much here to be able to do content and where it fill easily. So we're in Lightroom now, and then we'll go into Photoshop later. So in Lightroom, I'm just hitting this photo with a basic S-curve. All I'm doing on the light, I'm gonna increase the exposure just a little bit more, give me some control over that. All right, now we're gonna move down to color. And with a lot of gym photography that I do, I actually like to make them cooler photos. And that just means getting the temperature slider and dragging it over to the cooler side. And you can see that's what I did here. And it doesn't take much, especially in modern gyms that use like white LED lighting. You can just slide it over to the cooler side a bit. It's gonna change your photo significantly. That's a fun word to say 3 times fast. So you can see the difference that it made from here to here. And that's why I like to do that. It just enhances the photo more. Moving down here on the color sliders, I'm gonna adjust the vibrance. I'm gonna bring it up like 1/3 of the way there, or like 1/4. That's more of like 1/4. Because I increased the vibrance so much, I'm actually gonna desaturate it a little bit because I don't want to emphasize the colors too much of this photo. I just feel like it's gonna look amateurish. Like a beginner just figured out how to increase the contrast slider for the first time, and it's 2011 and Instagram just got mainstream and everyone's increasing contrast on all their photos. Moving on to the color mixer, otherwise known as the melting pot of colors. Adobe, you really missed an opportunity to call it the melting pot of colors, or the color melting pot, or something with melting pot. That's just a fun name to me. And I'm gonna start with desaturating the blues in the background. The reason I'm doing that, it makes the whole background look more desaturated, and I want it to be more desaturated because there's a lot going on in the background. Like you can tell looking at this photo out of the whole city, everyone's at this gym, even though you can really only tell like there's this one man staring at us, but it was really packed that day. So I desaturated the blue some. I'm actually gonna lower the luminance, and then I'm gonna move the hue over to more of the teal side, and that's just gonna make the blues a bit softer, a little bit more teal, but just like less punchy in your face kind of blue. Let's go ahead and move over to masking. I'm gonna start with a linear gradient mask, and I'm just gonna bring it from the bottom right hand side because that's where all these shadows are at. And I'm just gonna increase the shadows a little bit more, make this a bit more aggressive. And then to complement that, I'm gonna go to the complete other side, do a linear gradient, and I'm gonna increase the exposure and the highlights a bit more just to make it look like I used some expensive $300 extra light to light him. Because I lit up so much on that left side, I actually need to use my brush and remove a lot of the light from that mask that's lighting up the man in the background and the walls, because that just doesn't look real. I know if I had that light, it would just be lighting my subject and not lighting up so much stuff that's in the far background. So we're gonna remove that light, make it look like it's not affecting that at all. I'm gonna use Adobe's background selection tool, and I'm just gonna select that background, go figure, and I'm just gonna decrease the highlight some. And then to enhance my subject more, I'm gonna use the subject selection tool. I'm gonna increase his highlights as well as remove some of the shadows that are on him, and removing some of the shadows reveals more detail about him. I just wanna go back to our basic slider area, and I want to increase the exposure just a little bit. There we go. All right, now for the fun part. I'm going to send this to Photoshop, and I'm going to start with duplicating my original layer. That's just a way to play safe with Photoshop. That way, in case you make any mistakes and you realize, oh shoot, I made mistakes and it ruined the original copy of this photo, you have a second copy. Really, you can just go in there and make as many copies of the original as you want. You can make 5, you can make 10, you can make... All right, so we're finally gonna remove this man from the background. We're really not gonna remove him, we're just gonna cover him. And the way I like to do that, I'm gonna select my paintbrush, I'm gonna select white, and I'm just gonna put a blob over the man. I'm gonna scale it up some, and then I'm gonna go to filter, blur, motion blur. What this does, this creates like a foggy, misty effect. And that's complementary to the gym and the look that I'm going for this gym. Like I'm going for a dark, moody gym that's barely lit up here. and I want it to look smoky, foggy. And you can just say, Tanner, you can just use like a smoke overlay or a fog overlay. Yeah, I know I can use that, but I'm also wanting to get rid of this guy staring at Keith in the background. And that actually looks really good. Like if you look at this real quick, you almost can't tell. That's just a guy staring at us in the background. It just looks like it's something that's part of the gym. And this looks like the light that I had there, it looks like it's peering through that mist. It's peering through that fog and hitting him. I'm gonna create a point, give it a purpose, and I'm gonna use focus as the word. This isn't for a brand or anything. This for sure isn't for the Steelers. So we are going to choose Futura, and we're going to make it say focus. We're going to drag to the center. And for this, I'm going to make this out of focus. So for that, I'm going to go to filter, blur. Instead of motion blur, I'm going to select Gaussian blur. Next, I'm going to mask this behind Keith because I don't want it to overtake our subject. This looks really good. Just a final touch. I'm going to use masking, and I'm going to remove some of the bottom of the word focus just to make it look really out of focus, like it's almost fading away in that out of focus background. There we go. So here's what the photo looked like originally. And here's what the photo looks like now. Man, that looks so good. That looks sick. It looks really good on Instagram too. If you'd like to see this on Instagram, you can see it on my Instagram at theycallme_Tanner. And there you have it. That's how I go about editing some gem photography. If you did like this video, please give this a like and please subscribe because that helps my channel out and that lets me know that people are liking what I'm putting out there. If you want to see any other photography projects in the future, just let me know in the comments down below what they should be and maybe I'll go ahead and make a video about it and combine some graphic design with that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.